Scott Frost, he's the young man at Nebraska who was beaten by Arizona State, came back against Colorado State. Brian Kavanagh of Kansas State, he's trying to do something that no Kansas State quarterback has done since the late 60s, and then it was a man by the name of Lynn Dickey, and that has beaten Nebraska. So, Dick, what about the matchup of QBs here?
Well, Brian Kavanagh has been a backup here for 3 years. He's a fifth-year senior. He's a bright guy. He hasn't faced the defense like he's going to face today, though, Brandon. If I were coaching him, I'd have one concern, maybe a little lack of mobility against the Nebraska pass rush. Now, Frost, hey, last year at this time, he was a scout team quarterback at Nebraska, just having transferred from Stanford. Very, very talented athlete. Struggled a little bit early, getting better. All he needs is time. He's a gifted athlete.
On the defensive side of the ball, some good ones. Chris Canty, number 2, one of the best cornerbacks. And then number 2 will slip over to the K-State offense, and Kavanagh will attempt to hit him. But Kavanagh will not have much time because of 2 of the finest defensive ends in the land. Jared Tomich on the left, Grant Wistrom on the right. And yes, Tomich, he was the barber last night. The ritual, they shaved their heads again. And Dick, this is some defensive unit. They will be taking on the Wildcats, who are set here to pour onto the field in Manhattan, Kansas, with Coach Bill Snyder having done a wonderful job of turning this team around.
No question. And those 2 defensive ends are as good a pair as there are in the country, Ben. And from an offensive standpoint, you have to start all your thinking, all your game plan preparation is how can we block these guys passing and running the football. You better not single them up because they'll get to the quarterback.
The coaching matchup is something, a legend. And he's matched against a man who is attempting to become a legend. Jack Arute in a moment. Brian Kavanagh, the 6'3" senior from Naperville, Illinois. Quarterbacks the Wildcats. 1 interception in his last 98 attempts. He has been that efficient. Chili's backs and receivers features one of the better receivers in the Big 12, number 83, Kevin Lockett. The offensive line is a big one, averaging about 300 pounds a man. Jeremy Martin steps in, however, today for the first half. Ross Greenwood must sit it out because of a suspension for fighting in the game against Rice. That came in the second half. Kavanagh will audible all day long. Split backs on first down, and now Nebraska elects to change up after the audible. Stand up tight end, movement from the defense, and Kavanagh takes the snap and steps right ahead. And that may have been defense unless they were pulled by the left side of the offensive line. We will allow referee Steve Juszczyk to sort it all out here and tell you what the situation is before we meet the defense of the Huskers. Now this defense jumped. There is the front 4, eager to get it on. Terrell Farley, suspended for 2 games, played last week against Colorado State, moves back into the starting lineup. He played extremely well against K-State a year ago. And back in that defensive backfield, Ralph Brown has stood the test of every quarterback he has faced. Jake Plummer went right out after him. That, of course, as Arizona State upset the Huskers early. A blitz, Kavanagh hit up the 20-yard line, and so Coach McBride comes with Terrell Farley, and he's successful with the blitz. John Saunders, I would say that Northwestern is for real, partner. Thank you very much. Is this the day of the Wildcat? Kansas State hopes so. 2nd and 9 after the sack by Farley, and again Kavanagh calling the play at the line, but Nebraska's moving. Nebraska's moving after the audible. Kavanagh had signaled out, and the left cornerback dropped back. So Kavanagh called a time, and he wants to talk to Coach Snyder. This is what McBride did so successfully against Florida coach Steve Spurrier down in the Fiesta Bowl when they won the national championship. And it's confusing the quarterback, Dick.
No question. Now, Dana Dimmel and Ron Hudson,
Kavanagh back in the shotgun. They'll sometimes make an inside handoff from this look. Play is called, and now they'll shift it back and come up under center. Penalty flag down. Pass is broken up, intended for Lockett, but there is a penalty flag thrown by the linesman, who now reports to the referee.
The long time on the line of scrimmage calling the audibles really is affecting the defense concentration more than it's affecting the offense emotionally within the ballgame. Today he wanted them to direct it toward helping them win and play better.
Cool Crosby and Charles in the backfield. The eye look for K-State.
See how they change in front of him.
Kavanagh fires complete. This time Lockett's got it, and he had stepped in front. There's the audible. Booker backs off. After throwing the bump and run, he now slacks off from the receiver. Now he tightens back up late. But they're looking other side, deflected, incomplete, and K-State will punt. The Wildcats trail it by 3. This has been their starting field position all game long. 3 kicks, all of them out of the end zone. 2 kickoffs and now a punt. Charles cut back.
8s, 4s, 28s. There's 2 28s. 1 on offense and 1 on defense.
Oh, big test for a spotter today. 3rd and 5. Kavanagh with a shotgun look. Here come those ends. They can't get to him, but they got enough pressure on him that now Romano is going to try it. Oh, he didn't even get it off. That's Farley again. What a game Farley is having.
That's disaster.
That's a first down. Huskers at the 14-yard line, and he was taking way too much time. He was frozen back there.
I know it. And he has 2 seconds to get that ball off. 0.8 of a second on the snap, 1.2 to kick it. And he was taking way too much time. Forfeiting the ball. Evidently, he didn't expect to rush.
He should have kicked it right into Mr. Farley. Hope to get the ball out of there and take the rough.
You know, they broke down in the kicking game last year against Nebraska, and they're breaking down today. Field position, 14-yard line. Boy, tough to win. In the movement, look at the athletic ability of Booker. The ball's thrown properly low on the outside, that he has enough ability to sprint back and dissect that ball. Should have picked it.
Kavanagh is starting slowly. 1 of 5 for 5 yards facing this fierce Nebraska defense and the wind.
Right. So he has a lot of time to watch film.
Andre Anderson, number 25, goes to Kavanagh's left. The Huskers rush 4. Kavanaugh's pass deflected, incomplete. And now who will punt for Kansas State? Because here they come again.
I would come back with Garcia myself.
6-0. The Huskers with the lead over the Cats. Now the wind is at Kansas State's back. And Kavanagh back in the shotgun. Into the arms of pressure, wind or no wind. They couldn't do anything with big number 99 there defensively, Jason Wiltz.
There can't be much really exciting about either team statistically. It's 6-0, of course. Good field position by Nebraska. Kansas State is actually lucky to be only down 6-0. Rushing yards, look at this, 1 yard to 29 for Nebraska. That's really out of there. No yards passing so far. Total, look at that. Not much going on so far, but great defense.
Romano still in the game, punting. He replaced Garcia. Fullman out of Roselle, New Jersey. Set to return. Fogel. He's the up back. Somebody's got to get on him. They came up the middle with daylight. Close again. Calls are not paying off for this attack right now.
So far they haven't, because they haven't been able to beat the man-to-man coverage.
Lockett cuts back. Broken up.
Tell you, Charlie McBride.
And the offense has let them down so far. It's only 6-0. 3rd and 12. Kavanagh fires incomplete. Lockett. What a magnificent defensive effort it is, though. It's almost as though the Husker defense is saying, we have got to throw a shutout.
Yeah, this time McBride changes up the defense to a zone, and they back off and play real soft. They had the right call, the double slants.
Ron Hudson and the rest of the offensive game staff said they were going to plan a playbook and an offensive game today that wasn't going to see a lot of repeat plays. Why was that? That's how much respect they have for the Nebraska defense and Nebraska's ability to adjust once they get beaten.
Well, Jack Kevin Lockett, their talented wide receiver, is split far out to the right. Marlon Charles is the running back, and Jimmy Dean, he's He's a slot receiver now for K-State. They'll try to quickly bring it down the field. Good time and almost intercepted. That ball was badly thrown. Michael Booker, the senior defensive back, was standing right there on that side of the field.
He had excellent protection. See, they had Max throw it accurately. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Normally, you don't get that kind of time to throw the football.
I like the way the coach counts slow motion, folks, don't you? Huh? Don't you like that? Very.
I wasn't a math major.
Three receivers out to the right. The stand-up tight end here for the Wildcats. Kavanagh again changes it up, and Mike Lawrence moves in behind him as the running back. Quick drop high, and it was overthrown on Anderson and not functioning well. Almost a lateral, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was back just enough. And Anderson's the kind of guy you want to get the ball in his hands quickly. He's an awfully good runner after the catch. In fact, now they're working him as a third running back in the offense at Kansas State. He can run with the ball when he's got it under his hand. He was a high school running back.
Well, indeed, it was a lateral. -9 from where it went out of bounds. So the linesman on that side, he marked it there. It was thrown backward, and Kansas State's lucky that it went out of bounds. Had it stayed there in play, the Huskers might have been in business again. Well, the one thing you don't want to do, Coach, is outsmart yourself. And K-State is 0 of 6 on third downs now. This one, 3rd and 19. Down the side, out of bounds, and they have failed again. The intended receiver, Kevin Lockett, but he never had a chance at that one.
Lockett, the safety, ends up getting over there to help. They have tight coverage right there with Michael Booker, number 20, but he knows he has Minner, number 10. They're backing him up. See, so you can play very, very aggressive. They also, at that time, within that...
Mike Fullman waits. They came and they blocked it. A block punt. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Eric Warfield, number 3, came flying.
Believe these people are taking way too much time. He has 1.2 seconds to get it off. After the snap, I think he's taking longer. Plus, he's taking 3 steps toward the line of scrimmage. Here he is. 1, 2, 3. There's the 3rd step. It is blocked. He's going to have to get it off quicker. And they're going to have to block.
Husker defense has stifled Kavanagh completely.
I think offensively, Kansas State has to be very, very careful what they do right now. They can't afford a bad play and give the Huskers some kind of a big play. Down 15-3 is bad enough. Don't make it worse.
Lawrence is the running back. Anderson was going to the left side of the formation. He moves over to slot right, which is the short side of the field. Fake toss. Kavanagh fires complete, and Lockett with his 2nd catch of the day to the 25-yard. Been audibling all day anyway, so he simply calls the play here from the shotgun formation, and Lawrence moves over to his right. They show blitz. Kavanagh into the pressure, throws for Anderson, incomplete, and it was a heavy assault on the quarterback, who is slowly trying to regain his composure back here amidst this fierce rush.
Well, Wistrom started up to the outside, then he loops all the way back to the inside. He'll appear right in the middle of your screen. Here he comes, number 98. Wham! Boy, that took an awful long time, but he held on to the ball for an awful long time. Good pass rush stunt that time.
3rd and 5. Nebraska wanting to hold here and take another crack at the Wildcats. Slot in that direction. Kavanagh looks right. Coming middle. High. Incomplete. Lead on a 64-yard punt. So Kansas big over Oklahoma. When is the last time Oklahoma had a successful game? My.
Early last year. Prior to the Texas A&M game. Remember they were going? Filled up the stadium. Had the lead at halftime. No, against Colorado was Brent, not A&M. It was against Colorado.
And the Chiefs bounce back with this big one on Monday night, huh?
Hey, Carl, you're coming off your first loss. You're in your 4-1. Can they rebound and come in? You know, Cowher's going to bring those Steelers in red hot.
They are, Dick, and we're going to rebound, but I know Bill Cowher will have them wired. Of course, he was our defensive coordinator and did a great job with us for a number of years. They're a great football team. They're defending AFC champions, and we know this is Monday night in Kansas City.
Yeah, tough night in Kansas City.
It'll be a big, loud night.
Yes, it will.
Well, 1st and 10. Stick right with us here, Carl. From the shotgun. Kavanagh on 1st down, and he throws a completion to Dean. He is out of bounds. Jack Root.
Well, Brent, we've had a change on the offensive line from the Kansas State.
On his first play, Kansas State with its first down, not by penalty. So here it is, the ball at the 38-yard line. Kavanagh down deep, incomplete. Well, Carl, you just K-Staters. Well, you promised to leave the freshman at school, right?
Absolutely. Bill Snyder, we promise.
Both teams, Kavanagh under pressure, gets this one off. Carl, we want to thank you very much. Good luck on Monday night.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate it, and we're going to hopefully put on a good show for ABC.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks, Dick.
Hey, Marty Schutner always puts on a good show on Monday night. You
That's
know that.
true.
And every other weekend.
So, Dick, there was Grosdidier, Jared Grosdidier, making the reception for K-State. They find the tight end here.
He's been banged up. That's why he didn't start. He had been starting and banged up. They bring him in right now. He's a big 6'5" guy and a good football player. Maybe a little bit better receiver than Swift. But what they did that time is they gave Kavanagh a lot of time.
3rd and 4 for K-State.
They're coming after him with his own.
Crushed at the 32-yard line.
What they did is they ran a zone blitz. Now, what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, they dropped the tackles out and bring the outside linebackers. And believe it or not, a 6'6", 300-pound nose guard is dropping. Here he is right here. He will drop out. He will not rush. You draw the block. He'll step, draw. Now they bring the people off the corner, loop the tackles, and that's tough pass protection.
John Hess. I'm Brian Musburger. Manhattan, Kansas on a lovely Saturday afternoon. But it is all red and not purple here so far. 25-3. The Huskers with the lead. Kansas State with the ball now. Brian Kavanagh, the senior from Naperville, Illinois, continues to call plays at the line of scrimmage. Justin Swift, 86, is a stand-up tight end. I-back is deep. And on a roll, Kavanagh play fake, lots of time, right side, intercepted at the 31-yard line. Ball is picked off by Michael Booker of Oceanside, California. And Booker out of bounds, and a penalty flag now is thrown after he was out of bounds.
What he tried to do after play action, he had a lot of time, the nice play action. He gets out there, it's a two-man pattern, and he tried to get the ball over the top of a defender. He got it over one, but not the second one. They were layered underneath, in front, and behind, and he couldn't do it. Last year, Michael Booker picked one off against Kansas State. He likes playing against these guys.
And then they push. Personal foul, Kavanagh and Coach Snyder on the far sideline.
You know, Bill Snyder, head coach, is very involved in everything that goes on off. Everything that goes on offensively and defensively, but it really is, a former offensive coordinator the 10 years at Iowa and did a lot of great things offensively, and they've been moving the ball offensively prior to this football game, but they haven't met a defense like this one. Oh, what a fine football coach. He is.
When Nebraska builds a big lead like this, they're able to use a lot of people, and it works out so well for them down the road as they continue to reload. Nebraska doesn't rebuild, they reload. And now the new quarterback is Jonathan Beasley as we come to the end of the quarter, and we'll be back 5.
See, they can run the quarterback draw and that kind of stuff with this guy.
And running away from it, running for his life. And the only question here, Dick, is a freshman, is he in over his head against one of the better defenses in the land? Now, this is 4th down and they will have to punt in this situation.
A lot easier, like Evans coming in as a freshman running back, than a true freshman quarterback stepping in against the defense like this. Plus, he doesn't have the same supporting cast. A lot tougher on him.
State of Arizona. It's time.
Defense, so it's a little bit easier to look better. He's getting a little time.
Field goal. And that was it for the Wildcats offensively here today against this talented defense, which now is enjoying the luxury of playing their backups down the stretch with the last 5:53 to go. Beasley off the leg, steps away, the ability open field. 45, slides to the 42-yard line, 31-yard line. That's how impressive this defense is here today. Getting close. Beasley coming down the sideline, but his receiver intercepted. Momentum carried him on in to the end zone. I believe they're talking about spotting it at the 1-yard line. That's what they did. Ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line as Eric Warfield has now blocked a punt and intercepted a pass, and still K-State has not penetrated the 30-yard line.
At the bottom of your screen was the free safety. The pump move pulled the safety in the direction of the throw because he pumped in the direction he wanted to throw rather than pumping the opposite direction as I saw it from here. And that really gave Warfield the jump on the football.
Comes across the field now. We'll shake hands with Coach Osborne. So we will come back with the thrifty Carvana postgame report. Nebraska wins it 39-3.